The rivalry between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird defined the NBA in the 1980s. But beneath the surface of their legendary battles lay a secret that Magic has only now fully articulated in newly surfaced interview footage. This isn't the familiar story of two friends who saved a league. This is the story of fear, and why one man caused it in the other. The roots of this dynamic stretch back to 1979, when a record-breaking 35 million viewers watched Magic's Michigan State Spartans defeat Larry Bird's Indiana State Sycamores for the national championship. That game remains the highest-rated college basketball game in history, and it planted a seed that would grow into something far more intense. When both entered the NBA that same year, Bird was drafted by the Boston Celtics with the 6th overall pick in 1978. While Magic joined the Los Angeles Lakers after a coin flip sent the first pick to Los Angeles. In the new footage, Magic explains that the fear of Larry Bird was not about physical intimidation. It was something far more profound. The highest respect you can pay to any player is that you fear him, Magic stated in the unearthed material. Larry's the only player I feared. This confession, captured on a Skybox NBA card and now resurfacing in video form, reveals the psychological grip Bird held over his greatest rival. Magic describes how that fear translated into sleepless nights. I spent a lot of sleepless nights preparing for him, he admits. That's respect. The 1984 NBA Finals represented the culmination of this tension. After years of anticipation, Magic and Bird finally faced each other on the sport's biggest stage. The series stretched to 7 games, with Bird's Celtics emerging victorious. The loss cut deeper than any other in Magic's career. The first time we played head-to-head in the finals. In 1984, Larry got the best of me, Magic recalls in the footage. It took me years to get over it. Actually, I'm not sure I'm over it yet. What made Bird so feared, according to Magic's newly revealed insights, was his absolute certainty. Bird possessed an unshakable belief that transcended normal confidence. He wasn't just hoping to make shots or win games. He knew he would. This wasn't arrogance for show. It was a deep-seated conviction that opponents could sense the moment they stepped on the court. Magic explains that this quality got into the heads of everyone guarding him. When you face a man with zero doubt, you begin to play scared yourself. The new footage also highlights a psychological trap that Bird weaponized without even trying. Bird looked unassuming. He moved without explosive athleticism. His appearance suggested a guy who might fix your porch rather than destroy your defense. Magic describes how opponents would walk onto the court, see Bird, and instinctively believe they were faster, stronger, and quicker. But by the time they realized their eyes had deceived them, Bird already had 20 points. He used opponents' own arrogance against them, making them underestimate him until it was too late. There was also the anticipation of pain that came with facing Larry Bird. Magic articulates that players knew competing against Bird meant hurting. Not him, but themselves. They would have to dive on the floor 20 times, fight through 50 screens, leave pieces of their game on the court just to match his intensity. Most players, Magic observes, didn't want to pay that price. They would rather lose than bleed for 48 minutes. And Bird knew it. He understood that his greatest weapon was the dread opponents felt about the cost of competing against him. The jealousy that fueled Bird's fire is also addressed in the footage. When Magic won the NBA championship during his rookie season in 1980, dropping 42 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists in Game 6 while starting at center for an injured Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bird was watching from home. Bird had just completed an incredible rookie year with the Celtics and won Rookie of the Year, but his championship hopes had ended in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Philadelphia 76ers. He admitted he was jealous, which really shocked me, Magic reveals in the new material, because he never ever showed it back then. That hidden jealousy transformed into an even more dangerous competitive fire. Their meetings in the NBA Finals happened 3 times, 1984, 1985, and 1987. Bird won the first encounter. Magic won the next 2, including the 1910 Finals where he hit his famous baby hook in Game 4 to seal the series. Overall, Magic secured 5 championships to Bird's 3, and their head-to-head record across regular season and playoffs stands at 15 in favor of Magic. Yet those numbers tell only part of the story. Bird's response to the rivalry reveals the same mutual intensity. "We were trying to beat each other year after year," Bird once explained. "People kept comparing us. I wanted what he had, so I didn't want to get to know him, because I knew I'd probably like him, and then I'd lose my edge." This calculated distance maintained the competitive fire that drove both men to greatness. The transformation from rivals to friends happened in an unexpected place. In 1985, they shot a commercial for Converse at Bird's childhood home in French Lick, Indiana. "In the early beginning, we hated each other," Magic explains in the footage. "We had to because he ended up on the Celtics, I ended up on the Lakers. But during that commercial shoot, something shifted. That's when we finally said, we're more alike than we are different." They discovered that despite their contrasting styles and backgrounds, their upbringings and experiences were remarkably similar. The bond that formed proved unbreakable. When Magic announced his HIV diagnosis in 1991, Bird was one of the first people he called. When the Lakers retired Magic's jersey in 1992, Bird stood among the special guests. When the Celtics retired Bird's jersey a year later, Magic attended and even wore a Celtics shirt underneath his Lakers warm-ups, a gesture that transcended their historic rivalry. At that 1993 jersey retirement ceremony, Magic took the opportunity to correct something Bird had once said. Standing before the crowd, Magic accused Bird of telling a lie. "You only told me one lie in your career," Magic announced. Larry Bird said there would be another Larry Bird one day. And Larry, there will never ever be another Larry Bird. I don't care how many players, there will never ever be another Larry Bird. You can take that to the bank. The 1992 Olympic Dream Team brought them together one final time as teammates. They served as co-captains alongside Michael Jordan and a roster of legends. Insiders say the scrimmages behind closed doors became some of the most intense pickup games ever played, driven partly by the lingering competitive fire between Bird and Magic. Magic described those practices as the greatest basketball I've ever seen. Bill Walton once captured their connection perfectly. They were really the same player. They were really the same person. It was the perfect symbiotic relationship. Each one wanted to win. Each one had to win. And, because of each other, they were able to reach heights that they couldn't have reached without the other one. It's a perfect reflection of the best responding to the ultimate challenge. Magic himself acknowledges that without Bird, his career would not have reached the same heights. "Without him, I couldn't have risen to the top," he states in the footage. "I really mean that." This admission reveals the paradoxical nature of their relationship. Fear and respect coexisted. Competition and friendship merged. They pushed each other to levels neither could have achieved alone. Even today, fans remain obsessed with their connection. Magic once noted that people constantly approach him asking about Bird more than they ask about legendary teammates like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy, or Byron Scott. "I can't get away from Larry," he said. "No one ever asks me about Kareem. It's always Larry." Bird experiences the same phenomenon worldwide, whether in China, Israel, or anywhere else. "How's Magic? How's Magic doing?" People ask him constantly, like I live with him or something. The newly surfaced footage of Magic Johnson explaining why he feared Larry Bird offers more than nostalgia. It provides a masterclass in competitive psychology. Fear, in this context, wasn't weakness. It was the ultimate recognition of someone else's will to win. Bird commanded that respect, not through trash talk or flashy plays, but through an unbreakable belief, a willingness to make the game painful for opponents, and an ability to weaponize others' expectations against them. The numbers tell part of the story. 3 NBA championships for Bird, 5 for Magic, 3 MVP awards each, 12 All-Star selections apiece, 8 combined championships and 13 finals appearances. But the newly revealed testimony from Magic himself fills in the spaces between those statistics. It explains why Larry Bird wasn't just respected, but genuinely feared by the only man who could truly call himself his equal. As the footage concludes, Magic's words hang in the air with lasting weight. He was never scared of anyone, he admits quietly, except maybe him. Just a little bit. That small confession from the man who defined an era of basketball captures the essence of why Larry Bird remains one of the most formidable competitors the sport has ever produced.